Ashley, and this is my little brother Andrew, and we are about to perform an experiment where we make elephant toothpaste. This is a kinetics experiment, and I thought that it would be more fun with friends. And so we're going to explain what you need for this video. So, what you need for lab safety is some long sleeves, some closed-toed shoes, an apron or a lab coat if you own one, and goggles. I have lab safety goggles because I am a chemistry major, but my little brother does not have lab safety goggles because normal people typically don't own lab safety goggles. But if you're just doing this experiment at home, regular old swim goggles will work. And then lastly, we'll need some gloves because we don't want the hydrogen peroxide to splash onto our hands because that could really irritate our skin. Even though it's only 3% concentration, it'll be fine. We're good. Lab safety. Okay, so what we're going to do first and foremost is we're going to activate our yeast. And we're going to explain why we need yeast in a second, but we're going to open the yeast packet. And we're going to add it to our previously measured 2 tablespoons of warm water. This warm water will activate our yeast. Technical difficulties. Open the packet. Open the packet. No. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I'll cut this out. I'll cut this out. So let me put my glove back on. Figure out how to cut it out. And you'll add it to your 2 tablespoons of warm water. The whole yeast packet. Now this is active dry yeast because yeast is alive, if you didn't know. And he's going to mix it in until it's completely dissolved in the water. And when it's completely dissolved, it'll look like a little milky substance. However, we want the yeast to activate because it is alive. That's why we're adding it to warm water so it can get itself going. And so we'll set it to the side, and then we'll describe what is going on in this reaction. So once you have it fully dissolved, it's fine if you have like a cream. And mix it fast, mix it fast. There we go. And then we'll set it off to the side. There we go. And now, to explain what's going on. Okay, so in this reaction, we're essentially looking at hydrogen peroxide and its decomposition. So what is happening in this reaction is that we have hydrogen peroxide as a reactant, and it is being broken down into water and oxygen gas. Now this occurs naturally because hydrogen peroxide is a unstable molecule. Yes, it is unstable, and so it is trying to reach a more stable state. And this is also an exothermic reaction, which means that it releases heat when it decomposes. So, this occurs at a very slow rate. Like, you can't really observe this decomposition happening if you were just like staring at hydrogen peroxide and just like watching it happen, you know? So you wouldn't be able to see this happening, especially because both of these liquids are clear. So we use a catalyst. Now the catalyst that we are using is yeast because it contains something called catalase. And this catalase is what speeds up this reaction. Now that is what a catalyst does. Any catalyst in any reaction is going to speed up the rate of reaction so that we can observe this decomposition that's typically slow at a very fast rate. And so we're going to now perform that experiment. So the things that you are going to need are a cup, which we are using this one because not only does it look like the similar shape to a graduated cylinder, which I don't own a graduated cylinder because we're just doing this home experiment, but also it has Captain Kirk on the front, which I just thought was really cool, and it says beam me up, so you know, it like makes sense in science. And so we have our Star Trek cup, and then we have a way to measure out in cup form, you know, cup liquid. We also have some dish soap. Now this is going to form bubbles with our oxygen gas that is released from this reaction. And that will make a nice foamy base to our elephant toothpaste. We also have water. And we have food coloring. Now, we chose blue food coloring because we thought we would stripe up the sides to make it look like Colgate toothpaste. And then finally, our reactant, which is really, 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 really important, hydrogen peroxide. This is the entire base of our reaction. Without the hydrogen peroxide, nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna be icky yeast stuff. Anyway, we're gonna start by measuring out a half cup of the hydrogen peroxide. So here we go, there's our half cup, measure it out. Oops, it's hard to hold. There we go. There we go. Half a cup of hydrogen peroxide, and then we'll add that to our Star Trek graduated cylinder. Now, we're going to add our food dye, and the way that I'm going to do this is that I'm going to tilt my cup so that I can drip the food dye down the side as a stripe, so that when it comes out of the cup as foam, it will look like the Colgate stripes. There we go. We'll put that back in there. Face Captain Kirk out. Very important. Okay, and now we're going to add just a little squirt of the dish soap, because if you have ever put dish soap in a dishwasher, which is, don't do that, that's a bad idea, don't do that. It will foam like crazy and like create a whole foam pit in your kitchen. Anyway, yes, only a squirt, a little squirt. There we go, squirty squirt. Da-da-da. And we're just going to sit for a little bit longer because I'm afraid that the yeast is not fully activated yet. So we're just going to take a moment to, you know, how was your day? Was it good? You know, I hope it was good. I had a pretty nice day, actually. It was pretty good. How was your day? Was it good? Nice. Awesome. Fantastic. Fantastic. I hope the little yeast dude's day was good. Honestly, they're about to all die, so anyway, okay, let's continue. Okay, so what Andrew is going to do is he's just going to dump the yeast into our graduated cylinder as quickly as possible, because this is almost an instant response. And we're going to stand back, because it's going to foam over like crazy. Hopefully not quickly, because that would be wild. So, okay, Andrew, 3, 2, 1, dump. Nice! Look at the foam! Isn't that cool? Foamy.